ignorant on how I would buy my stuff. I would go with, oh, this looks cool. I'll buy it. Whatever. Oh, I have no idea what this game is about. Oh, it's Two Worlds. This one looks awesome. I'll buy that one. Oh crap! It's a piece of shit. So, so I mean, yeah, I used to compulse buy really really badly, and now I if I'm interested in a game, it takes me a long time to decide if I really want that game or not. I mean, do I want this? Am I, and my budget really has a great deal about it. Of that deciding factor.
Yeah.
I look at first and foremost. I always look at the developer of the game. It's a bad habit, but it all depends on who's developing the game.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somebody like BioWare, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna pre-order it. I'm gonna do everything I can to buy that game because BioWare does not let me down. Yeah, they may have bugs here and there, little bugs here and there, quirky little things, but every game does. But as BioWare goes on, they always fix what's problems. They always fix what's wrong with the games. So I always look at that, and then secondly, I look at the price to see how much money it is. Like DBZ. I wasn't expecting to go out and buy the DBZ because, yeah, I do like DBZ games. I like the DBZ universe. But what intrigued me about it was what was involved. You could level your character from 1 to 80 doing these quests, parallel quests. You're grinding through them, and they have a storyline, which other separate quests with stories. So the fact that the game was like that really made me go out and decide to buy it. I think what you guys are talking about, the indie between the indie and AAA. I've said this plenty of times already, where I think there's been some indie games a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot more immersive than AAA titles. And Monstrum's one of them. I mean, I got a free key from Monstrum, thanks, to those guys over there. And I played a few hours of that game, and I loved every minute of it. Like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, me falling asleep talking to you guys, and I was playing the game, and I had a heart attack while I was sleeping because of how much immersion it is. There's certain games, and the problem with indie games, and it's not really a problem with indie games, is it's that nobody hypes them up enough. Okay, and you can say the hype is the game's own worst enemy, which it is most of the time. It is. Look at Unity. I mean, Assassin's Creed Unity. How big of a bust that game was, as far as a broken piece of garbage. I know Pandora, you like it, and I'm not. And that's a game from a AAA company who had a good habit of producing in all their provinces, and all of a sudden they don't do it anymore. They really screwed up with this. Now, can they redeem themselves coming up? Yeah. But the AAA versus indie title has been happening for the last, I don't know,
yeah,
for a while. And again, I was one of those people who kind of shunned and didn't really buy that many indie games at all. And I turned around really quickly because I know if I wanted any niche game in part of this type of genre, I'm gonna have to go to an indie developer to get what I want, because the AAA title guys, they don't do it anymore because of the financial issues with these games. So, like I said, again, I'll mention Monstrum. As good as that game was, I think that should have been a AAA game. Yeah, and they're still working on it, they're still adding things, but from the short playthroughs that they do have, and I still haven't beaten the game yet. It's because they have 4 different ways to get off the boat, and you're gonna find the pots, and you really gonna pay attention to what you're doing in the game, because if you don't, you're gonna die. It's right. But I like the fact that indie developers can create what they want without a higher corporate person holding them down by a thumb. So like I said, with the whole pairing rule that we had today, we had Nick on. You know, he's great. The game is absolutely looks amazing, and we're all hyped about it. And I'll support that till the end of time because that's what I want. I want to see them prevail. I want to see them become another one of those developers that we could trust and you know really get what we our money's worth out of it. And hopefully that'll happen with this.
Well, I consider myself pretty much and I'm sure everybody will probably say the same things too, but I do consider myself more of an open, hardcore gamer. Um, I usually am not influenced by big money. Like I don't care if 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 Call of Duty is coming out, I'm not just going to blindly run up there and buy the next Call of Duty. Um, I have purchased Call of Duty games, but I've also not purchased some of the Call of Duty games as well until the price is really, really cheap. For example, Ghosts, um, because I just didn't run out and buy it. You know, I don't care about as much, I think, as you do, Kaz. I don't care who the developers are. I care more about genres of games that I like, styles of games that I like, the art styles of the games that I like. If it's not as important to me who makes the game and who publishes the game as it is the game itself. I really look at the games individually. That's why I say I'm a little more open. I will buy a game that nobody's talked about because I think it looks cool because I took the time to go research it. I agree with you. A lot of indie titles do not get hyped, but you know what? We're gamers. There is the internet, there's the internet. We have access to discover these games on our own if we go looking. But we don't. A lot of gamers just won't look. They don't care. All they know is what GameStop is feeding them. All they know is that if you pre-order Call of Duty, you're going to get this special skin or this special weapon. That's what they hear. That's what they know. But they don't go out fishing. They don't go throwing their rod and throwing the hook out into the water and seeing what's out there. So I'm kind of blaming gamers for this as well, that they're not out there looking. They're just taking the word of these companies that sell video games and the marketing on television and things to kind of influence them to not even bother looking for other games. I think we have a responsibility as consumers and as gamers to go look a little deeper than that. Take a little time to go hit some of these indie game sites. There are plenty of sites that have indie games listed on there and what they're doing and what they're about. I mean, we find them every day, Cass.
Yeah.
And we discover some fantastic games, but it's because we go out searching for them. We don't let someone else dictate to us what should be popular and what shouldn't, because you and I, we do go out and fish and see what's out there in the ocean and see what other games are out there that's under the surface of the water. We're not just taking what's at the surface level. We're digging deep, man. We're looking for some really good, some really great games, and the only way you're going to find them is to look for them. And that's why I say I just don't like this blind loyalty that a lot of gamers seem to have these days. So I don't know about you guys, but I think it's a virus.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, you look at the genre too, and I do too. I mean, obviously, if it's an MMO, I'll be the first one to look at every MMO that's coming out because that's my genre of choice. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love more than anything else. Okay.
You love that genre,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that is RPGs and first-person shooters. Now, we'll talk about Call of Duty because I'm very disappointed at Call of Duty because of what happened, over the last 5 or 7 years with it, on the PC. But I mean, here I am with a supercomputer, and I still have a hard time running the new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I mean, it eats the whole system like it's not. it's not even funny. But just the things that they do because of, well, let's see, you guys are paying $50 and $60 like the console guys. Well, let's give you the same experience instead of giving you the 32 on 32 like you used to get. No, we're gonna boost it down to 15 versus 15 because that's what the console guys have. So why do you guys have to have a better one? And again, it's not like I'm not trying to be PC elitist or PC fanboy, but again, it's we can run it, so why can't we have that?
I agree.
Absolutely.
But like you said, we do our research, and this trust me, there's a couple of indie games that we've showed that I really have no interest in, but I know that people will have interest in.
Somebody will.
Right, and it's like the first week you liked Life is Strange, and you were like, oh, you guys should get that, guys. You should get that. And what did I do? I picked it up because I know that you would like that game. And again, I thought the game would look pretty good myself. Okay,
right.
Like not last week, the week before we showed Troll and I. Okay, that game looks actually pretty interesting in my opinion. Again, it's another game that I have no problem go out and buying when it comes out. But like you said, we're our own. We have to go do the research. Yeah, you can go to a site like Indie Database and search through millions of games that people are making. And do I go on that site sometimes? Yes, I do. But I also go on. I find them through a lot harder methods that it's not easy to go out and find. It's not like you type in best indie games of 2015. You're gonna get the list of the list of guys that have already been hyped to the point like Shovel Knight. That game's been hyped more than you actually think that they had a big budget, like a multi-billion-dollar budget for marketing. Well, they don't, but it's the way that they get hyped. Ori and the Forest is another one that's been hyped. To Reign of Kings is another one that's been being hyped right now. That's more Darkest Dungeon, which being Sid played without bought. The game is great, yes it is, but it's been hyped so much that you would think that it has this huge, marketing budget, and that's not true at all. I mean, they're being hyped because of word of mouth. But I think in another way, we're our own worst enemy, because no matter how many times you could ask the community, if you're a game developer, okay, you ask the community that, what can we fix in this game, or like us, what can we fix in the show? You're gonna get your trolls. But sometimes it's very hard to distinguish if that guy's being trollish or not, if he's actually being serious when it comes to, or like an indie game. Oh, this is too hard. You guys need to make it easier so us casual gamers can, beat the content. Well, I'm sorry, if I'm an indie developer and I'm making my game towards hardcore gamers, know what I think that comment is? It's a troll comment. Whether or not it might not be, but my game is specifically restricted towards being made for hardcore gamers, and where we have to work our rear end off to get the items we want, or get to the raid zones that we want and clear the raid zones. Another game that I don't think the game's still in beta and it's a free-to-play game, Warframe. I mean, I downloaded it and it's still in beta. Now, you being a Destiny fan, Pandora, and City's being a Destiny fan, if you want a game that's similar to Destiny, that has more content than Destiny, Warframe does.
I've played Warframe, and I like Warframe, but it feels so pay-to-win-ish to me.
It's not.
I don't see how it's similar.
It's the science fiction shooting,
I play Warframe as well.
Yeah, the way the levels are, you go in and kill the enemy. But again, and I got that same feeling you got, Pandora, when I first started playing it. Was, oh, Jesus Christ, this is a pay-to-win game, and it's actually
it
not.
feels like it. I know it's not, but it feels. What I mean by that is pay-to-win games have a certain look to them, a certain way they play The controls all feel the similar to each other. You know, there's just some, I don't know. Pay to win games have this certain feel to them when you're playing them, and they have a certain look and a certain atmosphere. I know Warframe is not that, but it feels like it is when you're playing it. It just it feels clunky to me when I play it. I don't mean to talk bad about the game, because there are huge fans of this game. They love Warframe, but for me, it's just it's frustrating when I play it, because you know, when I hit my trigger, it doesn't fire when it's supposed. There's just this little delay. There's these little things that just bother me when I play the game.
I mean,
It's just
you can't really judge the game on it because it is still in beta. It is still being, you know, so
and I know that.
And again, like I said, I got the same thing with you. It had that pay to win feel to it, and I even said that in chat when I started playing. I'm like, oh my god, why do I gotta buy? You know, why I gotta spend $25 on one Warframe? Where, you know, I'm thinking this is absurd. Why the hell would anybody do this? But then somebody from the community, because the community on the PC, these guys are actually, you know, they're fans of the game, but they also know that they're gonna get people that come in and like raging that they feel that this game is pay to win, or, you know, and a person came up and said, yeah, you know, this game isn't that way. You can actually earn everything that's in the store. You can earn in the game. You just gotta work for it.
Yeah, I enjoy playing it from time to time. I think the reason it's probably not on my list of games that I play a lot is simply because I don't typically play those types of games like that anyway. I'm more into like BioShock, Dishonored, real artsy games, if you know what I mean. The games themselves look really artsy. I absolutely love Life is Strange. Games that are artistic, you know, they visually look good to me like that.
And it's like another game that Sid and I were actually interested in a couple of weeks ago, where we had them on the indie show, Never Alone. The game is actually very clunky. So,
right,
you know, people are having a hard time with this game because it's so clunky. But again, it's this whole conversation brings back to the point where it's our responsibility. But again, I don't think that even the fans know what they want, to be totally honest with you, because they want this, then they want no, let's take away from that, and we'll give them, you know, we want this instead. No, we don't want that anymore, and because as we all know, we live in an instant gratification era right now because of the way the games are being made, and it sucks.
Entitlement, yeah.
It really does. It sucks to the point where I can't even enjoy it. You saw me the last week how I was even having a hard time streaming stuff because I just don't know what to play anymore. I really don't, because there's nothing that can hold me. Right. There's nothing that can hold me to the point where I have no, you know,
your interest has been lost.
Right, and that's what I said when I heard about this whole EverQuest Progressive server. Now, I played EverQuest Progressive servers before. What it is it goes back to the way the game used to be. Okay, and they actually talking about redoing code to the way that the experience used to be as well. So they're gonna unlock. There's 21 expansions. The game's been out 16 years. There's 21 expansions. So what's gonna happen is, you're going to play through and you don't have all the expansions. You don't have all the items that comes with all the expansions. And you're going to play through as the expansions unlock. You have... So, as this new expansion comes in and opens more raid content to you. So now you're going to go out and beat all this raid content and go through that. And then 4 months later, or whatever they decide, it's going to be... another expansion unlocked with more raid content. So there's it brings back the excitement of the way EverQuest used to be, and that's why I get so excited, because I have nothing out there right now that can bring me back to that
That nostalgia.
It's not that really the nostalgia. It's not, and again, it's not rose-colored glasses because I do see the flaws that EverQuest did have. Okay, but the flaws, did the flaws outgrade the good in the game? Hell no. There's still no MMO out there that has as much content as EverQuest does. Not even close.
Well, here's the good thing. With all four of us here, this is why I love this panel, because we're similar, but we're also diverse. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. All three of us have chimed in.
Sorry.
Hello, Star Trek.
Sorry.
But all three of us have chimed in, and we're all similar in a lot of the things that we play. But we're also unique in the sense that we like different genres, as well as some that we have in common. And then we have Titch here, who is a more specific type of gamer. She does not go out on limbs like we do. She is definitely specific in what she purchases, very specific in the type of game she wants to buy. And she has a whole lot more, I don't know, like a more narrow view of what she wants in gaming. So I'm really curious to see what she thinks about this particular topic, because she's a gamer that is absolutely not just going to buy any game. It has to meet a certain criteria for her in order for her to spend her money. Whereas we're more open, we'll be taking more risks, and we buy games that are broken, like Unity and other games, you know, and spend the money. But she's more focused, more like, I'm not buying these games. I have my eyes set on this, and this is what I want. So I'm kind of curious to see why she, you know, what goes into her thinking that makes her buy games that way.
How long has Abrana been playing games? Just to,
since she was basically a baby.
All right, so
yeah.
Yeah,
no, just like us, she's been playing since she was little.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to see like. Oh, it's major feedback. Hello. Yeah,
No,
feedback.
It's coming from Pandora.
Me?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't have anything to. I'm not streaming anything.
Well, every time we hear an echo, your thing lights up. No problem.
All right, hang on. I'll see.
Test.
Hello? Nope, it's still going.
Yep.
Nope.
Did we stop? It stopped now. That's weird.
How's that? Yep, it's gone. No, it's like I was gonna say, if she's a new gamer, I was gonna say what her opinion on that would be. Like Lee's not really, she's not really playing a lot of games. She plays The Sims now, and that's occasionally.
I cannot get it to reset. It's off right now. I don't know what to do.
I can't ask her for her opinion because she doesn't she won't go out and buy a game unless it's something that is really simmy type, that like she plays a lot of Facebook games. So she'll play, Farm Bill and stuff like that. That's what she likes. So I would just really just see if this new game is out there, how they look at, what you're saying, how they look at purchasing games.
Right.
Because we're all veteran gamers in this room, we all have 20 years plus playing games.
What's going on, gentlemen? Or
Oh,
lady?
there's something wrong with my end of Skype, and her cam is frozen. I can't hear her either.
Well,
Oh, there we go.
can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I had it muted because we were trying to figure that out.
So let me why don't you hang up? I'm sorry, Titch. Hang up and
Okay.
let me.
Yep.
We'll call you again.
Let's try.
Maybe that'll fix it on my end. It's on my end.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how to fix it here. So
Yeah, we can hear it. Just camera's messed up.
yeah, the camera's mixed up.
Okay,
I mean, it's
I'll
a
hang
it's a
up.
nice pose.
Well, hey, it could be worse, you know.
Is it frozen on your end, guys? Too?
No.
No.
Yeah, it was. Well, I didn't get it. You get a picture on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, she was moving. I
There
could
we
see her.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. What was the question?
I'm a lot brighter now. Hey, I don't know if that's good for you guys in the stream that I'm actually brighter. You know, might scare you guys away.
No, Pandora really wanted to see what Titch's point of this whole conversation was, because
Yeah.
she's
She's-
straight and narrow. Yeah, she's like a
Yeah.
straight and narrow. So
And the straight and narrow, huh? You guys would be surprised. I actually do play other games. It's just that I stream Sims the most because that's what everybody, you know, knows me for. But you're right. I am going to be a little more particular about the games that I buy. I think that I'm somewhat like Pandora is I'm not really loyal to one company. I'm loyal to Sims. It wouldn't matter who produced Sims. I would buy Sims. But on the other hand, I enjoy other games and I want the game to be immersive. I want a good storyline, but I am going to be a little more particular about what I buy. It's got to be, you know, something that I'm going to spend a lot of time playing and really enjoy. And not, you know, just go out and buy something just because it's the popular thing. Sometimes I'll find a game that is popular that I'll go, that looks really interesting. I might be willing to try that. But usually I am a little more particular. And I think that that goes, you know, for most new gamers in certain genres. I'm not crazy about first-person shooters usually, but I decided I wanted to try Destiny. Because I see Sid playing it and it looks fun. And
Right.
that kind of was what made me want to play Destiny. I used to play Call of Duty. When Sid and I first met, that's what we played together.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that. And when I was watching Destiny, I really felt like I could get that. But did I want it because it's a AAA title? No. I wanted it because it looked like it's something that I would have fun with. And that's what I look for in a game.
and nobody's
Yeah.
nobody's saying that you don't take risks. I mean, you went out and bought 7 Days to Die
Oh, yeah.
the other day.
No,
I mean,
yeah. No, I know
That was a
it's-
huge risk,
Right,
especially playing with us. It was a huge
but
risk.
that's a game like I would really love to see really just shoot up on the ground and just smash the other ones and make them go away. Because
7 Days to Die is awesome.
I mean, we have H1Z1 that's getting more press, and then
Right.
you know they're getting press like a AAA title,
Right.
and they're actually from a AAA developer, so I would see that why, you know. But then you got DayZ who sells, you know, 3 million. You know, they make $3 million, where an H1Z1 is the one that's 7 Days to Die is the one that's better than both of these guys, has more content, updated regularly, and it's not being talked about like the other two is. Why? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a survival genre, and it's Minecraft all in one. It just, I don't know why people don't talk about it as much. I mean, I'm not. You know how I feel about Minecraft. You know, I'm not the biggest Minecraft fan, but the way that this game is, it actually makes you worry about nighttime because. I mean, Sid, how many times do we have to make sure we come back at night because we know how bad the zombies are at night because, you know, they hit like a truck and they run. And
Yeah.
so it makes it a lot harder. And then as the time goes on, you'll have these hordes of 50, 75, 100, 200 zombies all walking. I mean, you see them through the woods coming out of the woods in a huge pack coming
Right.
to mess up your wherever you are.
I mean,
And they're
they're-
gonna tear down your building.
It's funny because they're slow and lumbering, and you take that for granted. You don't even you go, okay, well they're
Yeah.
that far away. I'm just going to keep working on this, and the next thing you know, they're right behind you.
Right.
I mean,
And
it's that surprise factor that just
one thing that I really liked about 7 Days to Die is just that. The nighttime came, and I found myself actually like scared. And I don't scare easily in a game. And yet, I heard
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, oh shit, they're here. They're here. Where are they? You know? And you're looking around and you can't see. I mean, you can't see anything in front of you because it is that dark. And it was really immersive and scary. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is what it would be like to be in The Walking Dead or some other, you
Yeah.
know, zombie apocalypse type thing. It was great.
And so that's the thing for me, guys. I just think that as gamers, it's kind of like this. I know it's a stupid analogy, but I'm going to make it anyways, just because we've got all ages and all types of gamers from all walks of life. But for example, most people like Kool-Aid. What's different is the flavors. It's like, oh, I like the orange, but I hate the grape. I like the lime, but I love, it's still Kool-Aid, and that's kind of what I'm saying with these games. AAA games and indie games, they're games. They're all games. It's like Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid. There are horror games. There are science fiction games. There are strategy games. There are RPG games. There are MMO games. There are so many games with so many genres, and now even sub-genres and sub-genres of those sub-genres, that there's something out there for everybody.
Right.
Go look. Don't just buy Call of Duty because everybody else bought Call of Duty and then cry and complain that it's not a good Call of Duty. Call of Duty hasn't been good for years, but people still buy it because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And they think it's going to get better, and it's not. And they just keep buying it because they've been buying it. Instead of now if I gave you grape Kool-Aid and you hated grape Kool-Aid, you're not going to drink the grape Kool-Aid. You're going to switch to orange, and that's what I think people need to do. If a game does not meet your standards, stop freaking buying the series. Go buy something else.
That's what I did.
Go
That's
buy
what I
something
did.
you absolutely love.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
have. Who am I to tell you or anyone what game they're going to have fun playing? I don't have the right to tell Kaz that the games he plays are stupid and they're not fun. If he loves having fun with those games, I don't care if it's a AAA or if it's an indie game. If Kaz loves it, that's what games are supposed to be for us to love and have fun. It shouldn't matter if it's a AAA title that sells, 50,000 copies in 2 seconds, like Call of Duty does, because everybody's buying it. It should be individual. As individuals, we should demand more from developers and publishers. We should expect them to deliver us a higher quality product. We should, and by doing that, the way that we can do that is say, I don't care if you're a AAA title or not. If you're not producing something quality, I'll go buy this independent game for $14.99 until you start producing me something that's worth spending $60 on. Until we stop doing that, that's not going to. They're going to keep manufacturing, and this is what I call it. They're not games anymore. They're manufactured products that are just being manufactured based on what was manufactured the game before, and they're just putting it. They just keep putting that back out, and they put a new skin on it and a new wrapper around it, but it's still the same broken game it was before.
Right.
And I think the only voice we have is to stop spending money on these guys and start spending our money a little more wisely on some of these really, truly fun titles. These really good titles.
Again, it's like feedback again.
I want some AAA Kool-Aid.
But like right now, like H1Z1 on Twitch is being watched by 8,828 viewers. Okay, then you have a game like 7 Days to Die. It's only watched by 72 viewers right now. What the hell is wrong with this? This is not cool, in my opinion.
They're basically the same game. I mean, they're very similar.
H1Z1 is not even in depth as much as 7 Days to Die.
Right.
7 Days to Die has more to offer. But like Pandora just said, they keep on releasing these broke ass games, and like Call of Duty, and I agree, where we as PC fans have been outraged about Call of Duty for the last 5 years, but yeah, we still go buy them. But then like Sledgehammer, we'll go and say something to Sledgehammer about how broken Advanced Warfare is for the PC, how it doesn't even run at a reasonable frame rate. It stutters like a bastard, and Sledgehammer doesn't even care. They just don't care. They don't even comment about it. They don't even say we're fixing it when we're looking at the issue. They just simply take down the post.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we do move right along here. I think it was a good, healthy discussion there on that note, though. No,
Thanks,
that's awesome.
The chat was really good too. I enjoyed that.
In other news, those of you that may have not heard of, we just had PAX, didn't we? PAX was very recent, couple weeks ago.
I think.
Yep.
PAX South. Recently, PAX actually has been banning booth babes from their events. Let me pull this up here. Booth babes from their events. With the purpose of creating an environment where everyone... I'm sorry, I just skipped a line here. One of the many conferences, including E3, to start banning booth babes. This is an excerpt of what PAX had to say on their booth babe policy. PAX has a strict no booth babe policy with the purpose of creating an environment where everyone can feel comfortable and welcome, and the focus is on games. Not hired booth staff. Booth babes are defined as staff of any gender used by exhibitors to promote the products at PAX by using overtly sexual or suggestive methods, partial nudity, the aggressive display of cleavage, which I love that sentence, the aggressive display of cleavage.
That's it.
Look at it! Look at it now!
That's so PR.
It's crazy. Using aggressive display of cleavage in the navel and short skirts higher than 4 inches. Oh wow, I just heard myself. Over 4 inches above the knee and are not allowed. If for any reason the exhibitor or an exhibit and or its contents are deemed objectionable to PAX management, the exhibitor will be asked to alter the attire of its staff in full. Cosplayed characters that are playable in-game are an exception to this rule, within reason. And exhibitors must obtain permission from show management prior to the show. If for any reason an exhibit and or its contents are deemed objectionable to PAX management, the exhibitor will be asked to alter the attire of its staff or remove those staff from the show, as we said earlier there. The exhibitor, PAX, has basically said because a few people are uncomfortable, we're getting rid of this without putting it to a vote or any real consultation with the audience that pays money to come to our events. This is classic blind SJW pandering, and it's also just a tacky way to slut shame. Of course, in this new world where revolutionists and activists went from being the people of sexual revolution, the new revolutionaries are Puritans and insecure fear/hate mongers. But there is something here to highlight that speaks to a bigger issue that is surely on the horizon of the current social justice movement. Cosplayed characters that are playable in-game. Oh, I just totally redid that. Okay. Cosplayers are sighing in relief because as far as they are concerned, they're safe. Wrong. You are safe for now, but you are the next target. Models like Liz E. Katz, Lindsay Elise, Jessica Nagiri, Lee Ann Vamp, and Vegas PG are on the chopping block. They may think they are safe, but if they can ban booth babes, what is them from stopping banning the sexy cosplayers? So in a sense, that's sad. In a sense, that's great. What do you guys think?
I don't know what's great about it at all. I don't know what's great about this at all. I just don't. You're going to allow cosplayers to do it, but you're not going to allow the booth babes to do it. It's kind of contradictory. It's like, it's okay for you, but it's not. Basically, it's okay as long as you pay money
Right.
to come in, and it's okay for you to dress any way you want as a cosplay person. You can be trashy if you want to, because you're playing a character. Well, booth babes are doing the same thing. You might not like it, but they're doing the same thing, and let's get over it. If that offends you, just move on. Just walk on. You know, it's not like look, I am a comic book artist. I've been doing this for years. I've been to more cons than you can count, and I've never once been offended by a booth babe or a booth dude, because there are guys that do it too, and I've never once been offended by any of them. If I don't want to look at them, I don't look at them. I just look somewhere else, go on about my business. But to ban something like this that is, I hate to say it, guys, but sex sells.
Yep.
And if you,
Yep.
it does. And if a company is hiring gorgeous women to stand out in front of their booth, to role play whatever it is, to gain attention to their booth, this has been going on for years. They do it in advertisements on television. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, it's part of advertising. It's part of marketing. It's what makes money. And when people stop going to these conventions that start enforcing these rules, see how quickly those rules are reversed. I promise you that. If it's a sensitivity issue, I just think you need to just get over it. I really do. I don't think you should be that sensitive. Just get over it. I mean, it's not a big deal. Why does that bother you? Why does a woman that's dressed a certain way offend you? You don't know her. She didn't spit in your face. She's just dressed a way you don't appreciate. Who are you to tell somebody how to do it? It's not like they're running around completely naked. But I don't buy, and I can say this for the same with guys that dress in ways that are, you know, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look across and see some guy just in some, you know, some thongs.
Yeah, some Speedos.
You know, but I see it, but I don't throw a fit about it. I just go, look at this guy, and laugh about it and move on, you know. But I work comic book conventions. I work game conventions, and I sit at the table. I'm one of the exhibitors, so I sit on the other side of the table, and I see it everywhere. And I just think that it's part of the convention. It's been part of the convention, and you don't have to like it. It's like video games. You're not going to like all the video games. Well, you're not going to like all the cosplayers, and you're not going to like all the booth babes. But I just say suck it up and walk on if you don't like it. You know, but that's my opinion.
Damn, why am I getting feedback?
Everybody's getting the feedback.
I've been to it's hard to even talk about this. But I've been to a bunch of E3s, okay, and I've seen this firsthand, that the way some of these girls walk around, and it's true. What they're doing is they have this little logo on their chest about what game they're promoting, okay? So what do you think you're looking at? You're looking at the game that's being plastered on their body somewhere, whether it be, let me look at that. What's the name of that company? You know, it's like this big, you know. But it's the way that they do things. Another one is like Duke Nukem. Oh my God, the Duke Nukem booth at E3, at PAX East, was so scantily clad. These girls were basically wearing nothing. They looked like all schoolgirls, like Duke Nukem legs. You know, they had the plaid skirts that were hiked up to basically right under the cheeks of their rear ends, and their shirt was tied up in a knot. You know, they had a button-down shirt that was tied up in a knot, and you could see everything. But that's part of the charm that these guys are using this to promote their games. Like I told you guys last time when we first talked about this game. You know, I walked through and I get slapped on the wrist by a girl who was promoting this MOBA stuff, or not, MOA is what the name of the thing is. I wish I would have took it out for the show. But basically, it's another handheld type of thing that you clip your phone on, and it's a big pad underneath it. So you're actually playing with your phone. You're playing games on your phone with this pad, and it looks like just like a game controller, and it has this little slot that clips onto your phone like this, and it holds it tight so it doesn't move. I'm like, what the hell is this for? And she explained to me, but she was really nice about it. Go to this line, and you're gonna see it. It's called Moa, and you're gonna show them the bracelet, and you're gonna walk out of there with a $60 item for free. Like, what the hell's the catch? Because, nothing's really for free, right? So I walk into the line, and everywhere you go, they had all girls on the reception area where you go pick up the product. What's your email address, and can we send you information about this? What type of phone you have to make sure it works with your phone. But they were all wearing the same thing that this hot girl that just slapped the thing on my wrist was. Another thing was Dragon Nest, which is a foreign MMO. The girls were walking around with barely anything on, and it says Dragon Nest on the thing with a bag, handing out bags to everybody. But as we all know, the demographic for a lot of these games, even on Twitch, the demographic is 13 to 30 is the main demographic. Obviously, we have older gamers here and there, no big deal. But that's the main demographic, and what goes to their mind every 2 seconds, So I understand what they're doing, why they're getting rid of it, or what they're trying to. But again, like Retro said a few minutes ago, he could go onto a beach and see a hell of a lot less at a beach.
I agree.
You could walk down the street and see a hell of a lot less on the street. Cops can't pull a girl over saying, just walking down the street with a bikini on, because then that would be sexist. He's picking on her because she's a woman wearing a bikini walking down the street. So I don't understand how they can even attempt to do this and why they can get away with it. But yet, cosplayers are okay, and they're not, they're not affected by this at all. If you've seen some of the, what the hell's her name? From League of Legends, there's a lot of girls that dress up as her, and they basically wear nothing. Ari. They have this cosplay of Ari, and these girls wear nothing. Because they mimic the cosplay of Ari. But yet, they're walking across the stage of League of Legends booth. So, I think that if they get rid of this stuff like this, they're going to piss a lot of these developers off. And PAX won't be as much as it won't be as big as it is now. They'll wait till E3 to, come out and say, no, we're just going to release it at E3 because we can't have these booth babes, we can't have cosplayers at PAX, so we'll just do it at E3.
What do you think, Titch? Coming from a female perspective.
Female
The
perspective.
only female on the panel.
The thing is, I think that sometimes they give gamer girls a bad name. But do I agree that they should be told that cosplay can do it? Yep, booth babes can't. I think it would depend on what the booth babe is there for exactly. Cosplay, personally, I don't think that cosplay should go to the lengths that they do sometimes, but that's my opinion. Am I going to walk up to somebody and say, you look like a frickin' slut? No, I might be thinking it, but I'm not going to say it. I do think that sometimes it's demeaning to women. Do I think that it makes it so they're more likely to become, have violence against them? No, because it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Violence against women is just a control thing. It's not a sexual thing usually. So do I think that that's a legitimate argument? No, I don't. But I don't think that they have the right to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. Those vendors are there. They've paid their money. They have actually paid to be there. They should be able to have, whatever they feel is necessary to promote their game. It's a shame that it has gotten to that point, but I also don't think that it's fair to basically take away somebody's freedom of expressing what they think they need to do to promote their game. That's my
Right.
opinion.
Right, I agree. And somebody brought up, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Shocky fan who brought up this whole. Here's the thing. He brought up a point that a lot of people are trying to make about this, and I think even Sid mentioned it in the story. They think they're trying to do this to make it more family friendly. Okay, but I have yet to see any young kids. I go to conventions, like I said, I go to conventions, and Brando said he thinks that Comic Cons are different than video game cons. Why do you think they're different? Comic books or cons are selling product too. All cons are the same. It doesn't. They're just selling something differently. Video games are promoting their video games. Comic cons, they're promoting their comic books. It's different product, but it's the same mentality. It's the same approach. It's the same marketing. Friendly. I take my kids with me to comic cons, and I take them to gaming cons, and my kids don't pay attention to these booth baby girls at all. So they're more interested in, oh my God, there's a Power Ranger, or oh my God, there's the Pink Ranger, or oh my God, there's they're not paying attention to these booth babes at all. The only people that are paying attention to these booth babes are either people who just absolutely can't stand the way that they're dressed, and they don't like it, and they don't like it. Therefore, no one should be doing this because I don't like the way you look. I don't think you should be doing this, and I'm going to complain about it. But I got news for you guys. I'm going to throw this out there. I hate to use this word, but gaming conventions and comic conventions and any convention is not church. If you want moral issues, go to church.
Yeah.
Telling women that they can't be booth babes or be cosplay girls because you don't like it, that's not meant. That's not your moral views have nothing to do with this. I don't care if you like it or if you don't like it. That's not the place for it. It's a public event. It's a public meaning for all people.
Right.
So
if you don't like what's at that booth, don't go to that booth.
Go to that booth, or don't go to the con. If
Exactly.
it offends you that much, just don't go.
Right. Well,
It's as simple as that. It's a choice.
exactly. It really, they asked, in the chat if it really makes a difference as to how much they sell. Well, that's going to depend on how, like I put in the chat, how good of a salesperson is this booth babe? She may be gorgeous and in this little tiny skimpy outfit. If she can't pull that customer in and then close that sale, forget it. She's not going to help that booth much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nope.
as far as
I've
selling
seen it work.
stuff.
Right.
Right, and
And she could be gorgeous and in the tiny skimpy outfit and be a class A promoter and close those sales and say, if I get this and you should get it too, and kind of push that product. It doesn't matter if she's gorgeous if she's not selling it. She's not helping the booth.
I mean, I like there was a booth at PAX East 2 years ago. The last time I went, it was Neverwinter. Okay, the game Neverwinter. Now, there was two different girls sitting, a couple of aisles away from the game. I was headed over there anyways because I was interested because obviously it's a Dungeons and Dragons game and I'm a huge, Drizzt fan but these two girls had these little pamphlets that they were giving out. On the back of the pamphlet, there's a little marking for each one of these girls. So they keep track of, because when you go into line and you turn in that pamphlet, they keep track of who's the better salesperson is, and
Right.
that person is going to get rewarded for it. Now, not to mention the swag that we get from playing the game, but they're getting more people there because of what they're doing. You know, they're talking about the game. They ask you, you ask them questions, and they'll gauge you. It's not like that they're just go see the game and be quietly, be alone, or I'm too hot for you to even be talking to. You know, that's not what they're there for. They're there to help promote the game that they're trying to that they're working for. And these people just don't get it. That it's again, it's one of those things that another thing with Twitch. You know, we talk about it all the time about you got cam girls and you get gamer girls. Which ones you would rather see? And we know the difference between the two because we see it. And we, you know, but that's something we can get into at another show because that'd be another 10-hour contest.
Here's what I want to follow up on Titch, because Titch brought up a couple of really good points, and speaking from a female's point of view. What do you think? Just kind of play along with me a little bit here.
Okay.
Everybody assumes that because we have booth babes that it's an immediate attraction, right? That this is like people are like, well, the reason they're doing it is because sex sells, right? That's the general assumption that everybody,
exactly.
even the people in the chat room right now, are making comments. Hey, sex sells. It does, but let's look. There's also a flip side of the coin here too, because as much as it does sell, it also offends. And there are people that will not go to these booths because these booth girls are offensive to them. So
right.
This is not a surefire. Hey, I'm getting sales from this. It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
There are that are going to go to the booth because of the girls, and then there are going to be people that are turned off by it and aren't gonna go. So they're winning and losing. So I don't know why this is even a debate for these convention holders in the first place, because again, you're gaining and you're losing, because you're going to get some attraction, but you're also going to offend others. So this is not a guarantee. This is not an automatic. Just because you bring booth babes into your booth, you're automatically going to pull a crowd. You might be pulling the crowd you don't want to. So I think that's the side that nobody wants to address, is the other side of that coin.
Right. And going back to what Nick said earlier, one of the main things that you have to think about is try not to please everyone. PAX is trying to please everyone.
Right.
Exactly.
And you're not going to succeed with this, because you're always going to offend someone, right, whether it be getting rid of it or not. So, I mean, I think they should leave it the way. I think you're right. They should leave it the way it is, because they've been making money hand over fist with them. I mean, they should be happy for that, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, let them do their jobs.
Yeah.
I would be interested though, and just for funsies, shits and giggles, so to speak, I would be interested in seeing if they got the typical gamer girl, nerdy girl, and who's a great seller in there, in cute outfit. I'm not saying sweatshirt, baggy pants, that type of thing, but let's say she's really pretty. She has maybe a nerdy outfit on, and she can sell that game like nobody's business. How much more would their sales go up, or would their sales not be affected? I would be curious about that. I mean, seriously, if I were in a position to actually, do a little research on this, I might consider, doing like 2 different booths, one with a nerdy gamer girl who's attractive, but definitely a gamer girl, and one that's a booth babe, and see what the difference is. I would be interested in those statistics.
Again, it all depends on
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah,
exactly. There.
Again, it's like what's her name, Webb from G4 TV when she was around. When she was with Cessla. I find her absolutely really, really gorgeous. I mean, I like the way she looks. Where if this girl is blonde hair, blue eye, big breasted, hanging out all over the place, I'm more gonna see. I'm gonna go towards Morgan Webb instead of this other girl because I know Morgan Webb by her hot is she's a gamer girl. So I'm gonna trust her opinion more than I'm gonna trust this other girl
Right.
because of it's just the difference,
Well, and like one of your favorite streamers that you watch is Pocket on Twitch. If Pocket came out, and she's a beautiful girl. She is a beautiful girl. If she came out and told me about a game, I honestly have to say I would listen to her opinion, not because of how she looks, but she's a gamer. I know that she's a gamer. I know that she is going to give an honest opinion because she's, she knows what she's talking about.
And again, that's the difference. And there's a lot of gamer girls I do watch, like Zuri's another one, and there's other girls that are just on there to be
eye candy.
Yeah, cam girls.
Cam girls.
And those are the ones I don't like. Like Casey Tron is another one who is just as absolutely obnoxious. Who is a cam girl? She's not even, she's not a gamer girl. She's a cam girl.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to have to cut this short because it is 10 o'clock and it is the top of the hour. But we will definitely continue this conversation. I think this is a really interesting conversation to go more in depth on. So, want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Sir Bloodfist, Brando Boy, Uncharted Islander. Hey, thank you guys. Eric, I know Brunhofer's out there. Retro Godfather, thank you always for coming out here, man. And everyone else, Slicker Doodle. Yeah, and I know I'm missing a couple other people. I apologize for that. But again, that is our show. We are the Save Point Show. We are Six Broadcasting, and I am Sid 6.7.
I'm Tittery.
You're Pandora.
And Castle 143.
And we're all always reminding you to remember to save early, saved often. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. You have a good night.